Good morning to those of you that are here in the room. My name is Bob Cresty. I am the Customer Experience Manager with Muse Class. Thanks for joining us today. There is, if you see on the right side of your screen, you should have a brief poll in there just so I can get an idea who has and who has not used Muse Class before. So if you have a chance to click on yes or no, it'll just kind of help me understand sort of where kind of who I need to gear this towards. But I'm assuming that most of you are probably band directors, probably high school would be my guess. If you have any other questions or anything, feel free to let me know. And there's also Aaron is from Hal Leonard is in the background to also assist with any questions that come along the way. So with that being said, let's just go ahead and get started. So one of the things that we're trying to focus on today's session is just helping band directors get their students a little more prepared. We've got summer bands going to be starting up here. I'm in Texas, and so for us, most groups will be starting in about 2 weeks or so. And I know in other parts of the country, we've got a number of people that have already started, or they started this week, right after the 4th of July. So hopefully there's some ideas in here that we'll go over today in order to help you out. So first thing we want to do is just kind of introduce you to Muse Class. I see that so far one of you has currently used it and a couple of you are not. So thanks for the new people coming to check things out in here. Muse Class is just, it's a place to help directors create, distribute, and grade their assignments. And for students, it's just an easier way to do things. I know during the pandemic times, most everything kind of went virtual and just trying to find ways to help allow students to complete their assignments a little bit better. And so this is a product that we've kind of developed. We actually started developing in March of 2020, right when everything was shutting down. And so we've had a few years as we've just been trying to put this all together. So for teachers, as we said, we can create, share, and grade assignments, hopefully super easily, just trying to help save teachers time. That's one of the biggest things. I was a high school band director for 16 years myself, and I still continue teaching in a number of different aspects. And so I understand how hard the job is, while still, especially if you really want a lot of quality out of your students. And so what we've tried to do is just try to be help you save time and be a lot more efficient. One of the things that occurred towards the end of 2023 is the Muse Group acquired Hal Leonard, which was a huge task and a huge benefit for the product because of all of the amazing content that Hal Leonard has. And we were able to provide for you for free for the next year, if you're interested. And so there's all kinds of content in there. A lot of it is accessible with AutoGrade as well. And then there's just a lot of other songs, method books, things, so on and so forth that we'll kind of show you a little about in this workshop. For students, you can see that it's mainly an app that makes it easier for students to view and submit all of their assignments, video assignments, audio assignments, AutoGrade assignments, worksheet assignments, non-performance assignments. There's a ton of different things that students can do. They also have the ability, one of the things that's becoming a little more common these days is having students read music from their device. And so that is also a possibility for students on there. And then, as I said, they have the ability to practice with our AutoGrade technology. For the teachers, Muse Class is only web-based at this time. And so you would go to museclass.com and you would use the website for there, and you must be connected to the internet. For students, you can download the app in either the App Store or the Google Play Store, and it can be used on any type of smartphone, tablet, or Chromebook, because I know a lot of schools use Chromebook. The last thing I'll say on that is one of the other neat features about this is you can actually have your students do this in offline mode. So they don't actually need to be connected to the internet to work on their assignments. They will need to be connected to the internet to download the assignment and then to eventually submit the assignment. But during all the time, if they have home or if they don't have internet at home, as long as they downloaded the assignment to their device at school and then took the device home, They can do practice whatever they want to do with it. And then once they get back to school the next morning, they can upload it back. But they do not have to be online to practice any of their assignments. If you do come across any questions during the time, again, please feel free just to type them into the chat. There's also a link right there where it says click here to sign up for Muse Class, and we're about to head right there anyway. So it's moving right along. Let's get started. You'll see on here that first thing, if you haven't done so yet, if you want to sign up for a teacher account at museclass.com, what I will encourage you to do is when you do that, you'll want to use a school email address. One of the things is you are not allowed to use the same email address as both a teacher and a student. So if you would like to see what it looks like on the student side, then you can go to either the App Store, Google Play Store, and you can just download the Muse Class student app there, and then use a personal email address or just some other type of email address so you can still easily see what the students see. Because I know that's something not only teachers are worried about, thinking, okay, how much time is it going to take to learn this, which hopefully is not going to be very much, but at the same time, how intuitive will it be for my students to be able to pick up? And hopefully it'll be extremely intuitive. We've had several people in the past that they're up and running and have their students doing things in just a couple of minutes. So it's not one of those where you have to sit through a long workshop like this. You could probably just download it, kind of play around on your own and figure things out pretty quickly. And that's how it's been designed. Obviously, we're here to answer any questions. So if you want to go to museclass.com, you can either click in the chat window, or I'll switch up my screens now so that you can hopefully see it. Is this the right one? There we go. So once you get to museclass.com, you would just click on Start for Free. And then if you're a teacher or a student, you'll just click that you're a teacher, and you'll be able to fill out this form. Just so you know, if you do click are you a student, it will remind them that this is only for teachers on the website. At one point many years ago, we had lots of students trying to sign up on the web and creating their own schools and things like that. It was pretty interesting. But as you can tell here, for teachers, you'll go ahead and fill out this form. You can fill out whatever role you are in there, the name you want displayed to your students. So if your name is John Smith and you just want to be called Mr. Smith, you would put that. So every time a student receives a notification from you or an email that they have a new assignment, it will always say Mr. Smith rather than your full name. Whatever password, the name of your organization, different types of organizations in there, different subjects, so on and so forth. Basic address. And then you'll at the bottom click create your account. Once you have done that, it'll say to verify your email address, and you can go in and click on that, and then it will take you to another page where you can start setting up your class. And I'm going to kind of skip around just a little bit in here. So once you do move on to clicking the verification link in there, and you come back to it, it's going to ask you to create a grading calendar. And as a sample, you'll see here in just a minute, I have things set up so that I just have like a summer class set up. If you want to, if you already have your entire school calendar set up for the following years, whether you're on quarters or 6 weeks or trimesters or however you may be set up, you can set it up like that. Or if you want to set it up by month or semesters, however you would like, you can create that, and then you can input the dates in there. Once you get to a point of wanting to create a class, I'm going to go ahead and switch back around so that you can see some of that as well. Let's see, there we go. So once we're here, you can see I've already got a couple of classes created, and this is for some of the demo things that we will be going over today. You would just simply click on create class, enter a class name, you'll pick the grading calendar, and then there's a thumbnail. And if you click on that, you'll see there's a whole bunch of different options for you in there. During the process, you can also add other teachers. So for example, if you're a head director and you have an assistant director that you want them to have access, it's important that you add them through the setup that you just did. If they try and start from scratch on their own, there's no way to link two classes together. You need to make sure that you invite them into yours. And so once you do that, for example, we'll go into this marching band class. You'll see the list over here on the left. And if you do teachers, you see there's me, Muse Class Bob. And if I wanted to add a teacher, I would just do that. Actually, I need to go into this way, and I can go into staff. I'm sorry, I apologize. We would invite staff through here and put their first name, last name, their email address, what kind of role you want them to be able to have, different options they have, and they will get an email and be able to do that. So if you're the person that is creating this account right now, you would click on the admin tab and you can do this. Otherwise, you should have seen it during the sign up flow where you could invite teachers at that point as well. But because I have things already kind of set up, you would go over here into the admin tab. And then once you have people in the admin tab, you can do here and add teacher. You can see on my screen here, for me, I'm already in it, but if I had other people in the organization, their names would pop here and I would just put a checkbox next to their name and they would automatically have access to this class. So one of the good things about this is, say you have, maybe a private lesson teacher. They don't need access to all of your classes, but they need access to just your beginning clarinet class, hypothetically. You could give them only access to that so they don't have to worry about seeing everything else in there. I'm just checking to see, still no questions. So again, if you come up with any questions, feel free to type them in the window and I will be happy to help you with that. So if we want to add, we talked about creating a class, adding other teachers, adding students. So let's show you how easy this is. So if we come back into the class and we click on the students tab, you'll see right now, this is me and I have a separate student. You'll see I use just a personal email address in there. And so I have access to that. If I want to invite students, you can give them similar to many other LMS systems out there. You'll get some type of class code. So if you want to send that out, you can just share that with your students. Another one of the things that is super helpful is you click on download instructional PDF and you can do that and you will get a PDF, and I will try to switch over and share so you can see what that looks like. So you'll see here, so this is a PDF that comes up with all of the instructions, and you can either download this and email it to your kids. You can put it up on the projector. You can print it out and pass it out to your kids, but it gives them all of the instructions they need on how to get going here. QR codes that take them directly so they don't even have to go searching. Talks about how to do the sign up form. And then there's the code. It automatically populates with the preferred name that we did earlier when we signed up, as well as the class name and then the code. So we've tried to make it extremely simple and intuitive for everyone in there. So let's switch back here to the presentation. And as far as creating assignments, we'll get into that in just a second. But if you are interested in seeing what it looks like for some of the things that I've created, you'll see right here on this screen, and I'll put it in the chat as well. The class code, if you want to join the class that I have created so you can see some of the sample assignments that we'll be talking about today. There it is in the chat if you did not get it yet on this screen. So if you go to the App Store, Google Play, again, sign up for an account using your own personal email address, and then you want to use that class code to join the class, and you'll see that there's already should be a few different assignments in there for you. Let's see, I see nobody has joined yet, so hopefully you'll be able to get around to that. So moving right along, let's talk about different assignments here. So the first thing, let's get you back on the screen I'm looking at. So here we have some of the different assignments that we'll be talking about today. We have one that is opener flag choreography, because we do have a number of color guards that use the app as well. And we'll explain here in just a little bit on why that's beneficial. We have some basic concert F long tones with mark time, and there's some neat things in there. And then we have some auto grade stuff. The process for creating an assignment, we've really tried to make as simple as possible through here. You'll simply click on create assignment. You pick whichever assignment type. Right now, let's say a video assignment. We'll click continue. Since we're already in this class, that class should be selected. You can choose whichever instruments you want. I'll just go ahead and select everything and then all students. And you'll see that Johnny Johnson, thanks for signing up, Johnny. If that's a real person, if it is, welcome. And it will automatically select those students based on whatever instrument you have listed in your profile. Additionally, it will automatically enroll any student that signs up as long as it is not past the due date for the assignment. So say, for example, like today is July 10th. Say that I had an assignment that was due tomorrow, July 11th, and a student signed up on Friday, July 12th. They would not automatically get the assignment. You can go back and give it to them, and by editing the assignment, you'll see that their name will be unchecked and you can add them to it, but it will not happen automatically. However, if we have an assignment that's due this Friday and a student signs up tomorrow, the assignment will automatically appear for them. So if you wanted to set up some assignments, like maybe for like the first day of school, which is still quite a ways away for most of us, you could set something up so that students that join over the next couple of weeks will automatically have assignments that they will see as soon as they sign up, and they can create those for you. But you'll see we do that. So we'll assume all students. We would put in the assignment name, any type of instructions. If you want to select any attachments, there's all kinds of attachments in here that I've either downloaded from the music library or the music catalog that exists with over 200,000 different songs and method books and exercises in there. I also have the ability to upload any of my own things that I would like to do as well. So when we're going through some of that, I could do that. If you want to attach a backing track, whether it's a click track, whether it's just some type of song that you want the students to do choreography to, or for example, flag work, which we'll be talking about here shortly, they can do that. Or if you have like drones and you want your students working on their intonation, you can upload an MP3 of some type of drone. There are multiple different grading types we can do. There's numeric, pass, fail, and then any type of rubric. You can set these up. These are all just the ones that come here by default. If you want to add some other things, you can just create any one of your new types. If you want to have something, pass, fail, where a pass is 100 and a fail is a 70, you could do that. If you wanted to do numeric and make it out of only 10 points, you could do that. If you wanted to set up a rubric, I believe you can set up to 5 different things: tone, style, articulation, pitch, whatever it is you want. You can set up any type of rubric that you would like. And so just for right now, I will do test, and the instructions are to be awesome. If we wanted to do an attachment, we'll attach here some Don't Stop Believing. You'll see that all of the parts automatically got attached. And then let's just do a pass fail just so you can see everything on here. There are also some additional options down here where you can limit the number of attempts that students have. And then release grades and comments by default is set to automatically. Manually would be, for example, you want to wait till everybody submits and you get everything graded and then everything goes back out at once, or you can do it set up as never, however you would like. Once we get there, then you set up the due date and time, and it's based on whatever time zone you are currently in, and then make sure that it's attached to the correct grading period. And then you would click create assignment. So I will do that now just so you can sort of see what happens. Eventually, there we go. And so you'll see here's the test assignment that we just did. If I want to duplicate it, I could do that. Or if I was like, that was just an accident, I didn't mean to do it, just go ahead and delete it and it's gone. So that's a little bit of just getting up and running as far as setting up your account, whether it's a teacher or a student, getting things set up with your calendar, adding other teachers, adding students, and then the create assignment process. So now let's see if we can dig in a little bit more to some of the actual things about today's clinic, which is going to be about mainly marching band stuff. So let me switch back to this. So the first assignment here is going to be a concert F, my pretend student. Awesome. Thanks, Paul. the concert F long tones with marked time. So if you have signed up as a student, you will see, and I will pull out my phone right here and pull it up so that I can see that same assignment on my end. And I'll talk through it in the same way. So let's see, concert F long tones with marked time. So you can see in here, the student has the due date. It shows how many attempts. There's some instructions. If you are able to tap on where it says instructions, you'll see that there's actually more there. And so it'll say, repeat the following exercise 3 times consecutively. Set your Muse Class metronome to 120 beats a minute. Because there is a built-in metronome on the student recording screen, you'll play 8 counts of concert F and 4 counts of silence while marking time. And then below it, if you add in a link, anything that looks like a hyperlink, it will automatically turn it into a hyperlink for you so that your students can do that. And you'll see here where it says there's a YouTube link there. And if I click on that, it will open. If the student has the YouTube app on their phone, it will open that. If they don't, it will open it up in their default browser. And the place where I'm at right now, I'm in the Houston area. And as you may know, a hurricane just went through. And so finding internet access has been a little bit of a challenge. So on my phone right now, it's taking time, but it would load and it will play the video that you have linked. And so I uploaded a video that linked, I think, to Plano East High School up in North Texas. They set up some different things. And so I found that on YouTube, just explaining how they mark time. And so if you want to create something on your own, you also have the ability to attach your own video file. However, I would recommend using YouTube if at all possible, because if you attach your, like you make a 5-minute long video file on how you want them to do something, if you just attach that to like, as an actual attachment, that means that the student is having to download that video file to their device. And as you know, some video files can be quite large and it's going to take up space. And sometimes kids take a lot of pictures and do a whole lot of things, and then they run out of space on their device. Whereas if you just throw in some type of video link, whether it's Vimeo, YouTube, anything else like that, since it's a link, it's not actually being downloaded onto their device, and instead it's just being streamed on their device. So that's one of the neat tools that you can add in there to make sure you can easily communicate to those students that are more visual learners like myself. And as I mentioned, there's a built-in metronome on the student app as well. So for those of you that are in there, if you, let's see, let me get back there myself. If I click on record a video, you also have the ability to choose whether or not you allow your students to record on their own and then upload it. One of the problems with that is if you do require a metronome, then they will have to have 2 devices if you want to allow them to just record on the camera. Whereas if you make them record directly in the MuseClass app, there's a built-in metronome and a built-in tuner to ensure they only need one single device. So once I do that, I'll click on record a video. And then you'll see there, I can switch the camera back and forth in the top right corner. If you look in the two bottom corners on the right side, you will see a metronome in there where I can adjust the tempo in there. And if you want the metronome to play while they're recording, you'll see that little toggle switch at the bottom. If you want any kind of subdivision, you'll see there's quarter note, eighth note, triplet, and 16th notes in there. If you want your students to tune, just click on the little tuner icon and you'll see there are 5 different options as far as pitch centers from 438 up to 442. That should cover most everybody, at least in the US. So they can tune if they want to before that, and then they'll just press record. Once they've done that, they can go back and review by tapping on the screen and play the video they just recorded, and then they can choose to either save or discard it. Based on how you set up the assignment, by default, it goes to unlimited takes. So the student could try as many times as they want. Or if you want to put a little more performance pressure on them, you can limit the number of takes back during the assignment creation process. So that's a little bit on assignment number 1. So as far as just trying to get your students prepared for summer marching band rehearsals by doing some basic things as far as moving your feet, playing some basic fundamentals like that. I'm a big marching band nerd. I'm in my 22nd year of being involved in DCI as well. So I do a lot of this marching band stuff. So anything we can do to help kids understand the importance of, just moving their feet with everything that they play, I think is incredibly important. So if you can do something like that, teach the kids how to mark time, and you can do some of these things before you ever even get to see them in person. Or if you had some type of camp in May or June, and you can it'll be more of a refresher course for anything like that. I guess I'll pause here just for a few seconds to see if anybody has any questions on this first assignment, on either the creating the process or creating the assignment, or completing the assignment in the student mobile app. If anybody has any questions on that, I'd be happy to help you with that. All right, I don't see anything coming in yet. So if you do come up with any questions, and sometimes that's a good thing because we've tried to make this as intuitive as possible. So one of the next kind of things that we run into, and one of the things that we're super proud of, is the auto-grade AI technology that we have. And we've done some pretty incredible work with all of that. So for those of you that have joined the class, if you click on the assignment in your mobile app that says Rhapsody in Blue, and you'll see in there on the assignments as measures 12 through 23 at the tempo that is marked in there. And it's labeled in the instructions, and you'll see the attachment there as well. And once I click record audio, you'll see that the first time it makes the student tune if they want to. So hopefully they're playing kind of remotely in tune. And then so I'll just click on continue. And then you'll see the big blue cursor right here that shows where you're supposed to stop. I'm sorry, where you're supposed to start. And it shows the music on the screen, and the cursor will continue all the way through there. The screen will continue to move up so that the student can always see at least 2 lines worth of music on the screen. And so once you do that and get all the way through that, then it will eventually show you at the end how you did. It will give you a score. And this is a great way for students to be able to practice. If you want to find, maybe a more technical section, maybe more during the school year, you could do that just to get them some review on it, and you can slow down the tempo and they can practice that. Or if you just want to try to get to a point where your students are able to play some of the music by the time they show up on day 1 of summer band, this is a great tool for you to be able to do that. One of the things that I actually did many years ago when I was still teaching, and with some of the other platforms out there before MuseClass existed, is I would require my students to get a certain grade on a piece of music before, like, say, for example, before we started looking at it, I wanted everybody to be able to get at least a 90 on measures 1 through 16. And so that told me the students at least know how to get through it. I'm not having to teach notes. I'm not having to teach rhythms. I can actually teach them, focus on, embouchure, articulation, intonation, balance, all of the more important things other than press the right button at the right time. And so that was one thing I did. This is another great way also, once you get going, to have pass-offs. If you want to do something like that. That was another thing I did previously in my career prior to MuseClass with some of the other platforms, is I would require students to get a certain grade to be able to march with their instrument at halftime. And so that was kind of a little bit of external motivation. So they didn't have to either march with just holding their hands up, or, at one time what we did is we would take their mouthpiece so they wouldn't be able to play. So they'd still have an instrument. And it was just kind of a motivation to get them to do that, because the kids want to be able to play. One of the other things in addition to that you can do is continuous improvement. And so, say like maybe on the first week of school of the first football game, say the students had to pass off the first half of the opener at a 90. And then the second week of school, they had to pass off all of the opener at a 90. And then the third week of school, they had to pass off all of the opener at a 91. And then they had to pass off the first half of the ballad at a 90, and so on and so forth. And I just kind of continued that process, because what I realized, one of the things I'd done is, like, once they passed it off, then I was like, all right, sweet, you're good to go. You never have to worry about it again. But then I realized the kids would never really practice it on their own anymore. And so that's why I tried to go with more of a continuous improvement approach with all of that. Uh, but yeah, the auto grade technology is it's always improving. Every time that it is used, it continues to learn, and it uses that data just to make its accuracy continue to get better over time. And it's already pretty darn good. So we'll, I guess, take another little pause here to see if anyone has any questions on auto grade. Maybe, maybe not. Not seeing anything just yet. So then we'll move on to the next type of assignment. And this is one, as I mentioned before, that we have color guards that have used this in the past as well. I'm currently the assistant brass caption head for the Bluecoats Drum and Bugle Corps. We've started using Muse Class in 2021. So for quite some time. And all right, I will pause that and I'll get here. How accurate is the auto grade when kids are using Bluetooth headphones? Here's what I will say with that is I wouldn't encourage them to use Bluetooth headphones. I would encourage them to just simply set their device onto their music stand or at home, whatever they're doing. And they can either use their sheet music that they may have, or they can stare at the screen because there is a metronome that is playing the entire time as well. So it will provide more accuracy if you just leave it audible. Hopefully that answers your question. And then Paul, I don't know if what your primary instrument is, but obviously if you have access to an instrument, please feel free to try it out. You'll see this is obviously Rhapsody in Blue. It's an arrangement that I wrote several years ago. And you would just choose your instrument. If you, in the bottom right-hand corner, by default, it goes to piccolo as the first one. And then you can just choose your instrument or part in there, and it will switch to whichever instrument you would like. That's what I figured. Okay, sounds good. Perfect. All right, so as we were talking about here for opener flag work, and this can be, like I said, for a color guard, it can be if you have choreography that you want to teach your students. Like, so for example, for this opening phrase, like, because the assignment is only the opening impact from Rhapsody in Blue, and say maybe you have some lower body choreography, you could make a video on your own, upload it to YouTube, and then you could attach that in the instructions for the assignment so the students can see what the choreography it is that you want them to be able to do. And you can, however, if you just want to do it once, or if you want the video to be more of teaching it to them, it's obviously up to you. And then they can come in and they can do that. So I'm going to switch over to that assignment on my mobile app. Let's see, it's the one that says opener flag choreography. And you'll see there's a backing track, and on just the overview screen, they can tap on that and listen to it if they want to just sort of practice on their own. And then once they're ready to record a video, they would click on record a video. Again, they'll be able to see the backing track. I'll press play here, and you'll probably be able to hear it through my speakers or my microphone. Let me turn up my, all right. I have it set to play through my phone. Let me turn it onto my speakers. There we go. Let's try that again. And I'm opening it up now. Let's see, opener flag, record a video. And so when you're going through that, it will play the backing track for them. For example, if I press record now, you'll see there's a little countdown, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And then it would play that for you. So that, whether it's, like I said, color guard, if they want to be in their backyard with their flag work, perfect. Try euphonium, that'd be awesome. I'm a euphonium player myself. For the color guard, for, like I said, any other type of assignment or like choreography, whatever else it is that allows you for a backing track. I mentioned before, you could do a click track, you could do drones, or anything else you may want in there, but it's trying to create different types of assignments. So hopefully we've been able to talk about 3 different types of things here, where if we want to have our students doing some basic fundamentals, and have them ready to go by the time they show up. You can create an assignment for that. If you want to have them really start working on some of their music, you can start doing that. And I'll talk one more thing about that. Say, for example, maybe you want to start with something a little easier, like the school song, the alma mater, the fight song, something like that. With auto grade technology, this is one of the things I skipped over here, is the files must be in MuseScore format, which is the MSCZ format. And then if, for example, you are a user, if you use MuseScore, awesome. And the MuseScore Studio, that is, you can easily just save it as that. You upload that file and you can do any type of auto grade assignment you want. If you use a different notation software, Finale, Sibelius, Dorico, something like that, all you would need to do is save it as an XML and then download MuseScore Studio and then just open it up in there as an XML and then just save it as a MuseScore file. There may be some minor formatting. The way that some of the other notation software out there transfers to XML is a little different between them. Some are a little easier and a little less cumbersome than others, but it doesn't matter which format you use. As long as you transfer it over to XML, then open it up as an XML file in MuseScore Studio and then just simply save it as a MuseScore file. Then you can use that for whatever type of music. Like I said, school song, fight song, long tones, scales, show music, pep band music, whatever it is you may want. But there's also a ton of pep band music in the MuseScore or MuseClass library. I'm going to switch over one more time here. Let me make sure I get the right tab up here. All right, so I'll come back to my class that we've set up for this specific workshop. You'll see the different things in there, like what I talked about. There's also a grade book, so you can see how your students do in there. Ryan, welcome as well. The music catalog, as I mentioned, you'll see this is loading here. Since MuseClass will be free until August 1st of 2025, that means you have free access to 215,622 different files in our catalog. Some of these, most of these are set up for free now. Eventually, these will become paid because there's copyright fees. But you'll see all the different stuff in there. You can sort by all different types of filtering over here if you want to search for anything specific. For example, if I wanted to be a Swiftie, there we go. So we've got 35 songs in here of Taylor Swift stuff. And so you can see some of it, you know, for guitar, piano, concert band. There's a variety of different things in here. You'll see that this has access to auto grade for it. You'll see anytime any of this stuff, auto grade will automatically show up there if it's available for auto grade. Otherwise, the students will just be able to see the music. And we'll be able to talk a little bit more some of the other assignment types on some of our upcoming workshops on Friday at 11 a.m. Central. And then there will be another one at 11 a.m. Central next Wednesday, July 17th. And so each one will kind of start the same way, just getting people up and running on MuseClass. But then we have a handful of different types of things that we can address so that hopefully people can learn about all the different features that we have to offer. So there's a number of things in here, just trying to highlight a few of them for today. If you want to learn more, we would love to see you again in the future. And with that, I guess if there are any other questions, I'm not sure who all's in here right now. Oh, hey, some type of big wasp flew by me. Nice. There's chats in there. If you have any other questions in there, feel free to ask. Don't forget to head to MuseClass, absolutely. And you can click on the in the chat at the very top where it says click here to sign up for MuseClass. I appreciate you all taking some time to come learn a little bit more about us today. If you have any questions about this, please feel free to reach out to me. Pretty easy, bob@museclass.com, and I'll be happy to answer any questions that you may have.